In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 things you should stop doing right now that are stunting or slowing your hair growth. Hey love, it's Angelica. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Angelica. I post videos twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays. I post videos all about growing healthy, long, natural hair. I also post a little bit of skincare, makeup, reactions, a little bit of fun stuff here and there. So if that seems like something you might be interested in, consider subscribing. The subscription button is right down there, as well as the bell icon. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post. Without further ado, let's address the noise. If you hear any loud noise or weird noises, it's because it's raining, it's windy. That's why my picture is also kind of dull, so excuse that. Light might be changing, but let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing you need to stop doing right now, today, to help make your hair grow much faster, to stop stunting your growth, is something that might seem like it's helping your hair grow, but trust me, it is not. And this is very popular on TikTok and Instagram right now. It is mixing pomades. So the problem with pomades is, first of all, they stunt your hair growth. They can clog your follicles and slow down your hair growth, because if your follicles are kind of clogged, it's hard for your hair to push through and grow out nice and healthy. So that's the first thing that can stunt your hair growth with the pomades. The next thing is pomades seal your hair too much. So when you initially use them, your hair will feel amazing, because whatever moisture you put in your hair, it will be completely sealed in by the pomade, and your hair is going to feel so nice and soft. But after 3 to 4 days, if you want to go ahead and re-moisturize or spray some water on your hair is not going to absorb it, because the pomade has completely blocked anything else from absorbing into your hair. Your hair is going to be severely dry, and then your hair is going to get even drier, because to wash the pomade out, you have to use a sulfate shampoo to get it all out, or else your hair is going to feel like it has moisture overload. It's going to be sticky, but it's actually going to be dry and more prone to breakage. So if you have to use a pomade, just use it only on the ends of your hair, and possibly on your scalp if you're suffering from an extremely flaky and dry scalp. So what you should use instead of using a pomade is just use any kind of dry oil. If you don't want to use like a natural oil, especially if you're maybe a straight natural, or you just keep your hair straight or in curly styles, and you feel like natural oils like olive oil they have a little bit too much water content and they make your hair feel a little bit frizzy or anything like that, and you don't want it to wear your hair down, I would suggest you use something like the Aunt Jackie's hair oil. It's kind of like a serum. It's mostly natural oils, but it is mixed in with a few synthetic ingredients. And then you could also use just a regular serum like BioSilk or something like that, if that's the feeling you need in your hair. But if you want to use these oils and you think that they're making your hair grow or anything, 100% go for the natural oils. And now I'm going to talk about some videos that I've been seeing go viral on TikTok, on Instagram, of people mixing all these pomades. First of all, one pomade is bad enough, and by pomade I mean anything like Dax, Blue Magic, anything that's like a Vaseline kind of texture is not something you want to put in your hair if you want it to grow, if you want it to be moisturized, if you want it to be healthy. And mixing pomades is literally like mixing different kinds of Vaseline with added chemicals that probably will not mix well together. You're basically making a chemical explosion in your hair. It's mixed hair dyes, as in coloring to color those products so they look like the color, whatever color they are, and then mixing other chemicals that might be preservatives that may not work well together with all different kinds of Vaseline. And the only results you can get out of mixing pomades are bad ones. If you see a pomade and it says this pomade has lots of olive oil and that's the reason why you bought it, you might as well just buy the olive oil. Trust me, just learn how to read the ingredients. When you go at the back of an ingredient of any product, whether it is skincare, food, or hair care, the ingredient that's listed first is what the product is mostly made out of. So like 80 to 90% of the product, or let me say anywhere from 70 to 90% or 95% of the product is made up of that first ingredient, and then it goes down the line. So everything that's the most of, and then continues getting less and less and less and less. So if you're using something that has possibly essential oils, it's normal for it to not be the first ingredient, because obviously it has to be diluted into something. But if the first ingredient is something that is rich, that basically dismisses the other ingredients, then there's no point in you even getting the ingredient. Okay, so this is my CeraVe face moisturizer. The ingredients are usually similar to a hair moisturizer. You look at them, the first ingredient is water, second ingredient is glycerin. Water, obviously, you need it for your skin, you need it for your hair. It's the first moisturizing agent. That's usually normal and what you'd expect and what works best. And then glycerin is a humectant which draws moisture to your face. It would work the same way in your skin. So by looking at this, it has quite a bit of ingredients. If you look at them, let me zoom in. It has quite a lot of ingredients, but the top three, or at least top five, what it's mostly made out of, and then everything else at the end is not extremely high quantities, so you don't even need to bother about it too much. So if you look at any of these popular pomades that are supposed to be amazing for your hair growth, the first ingredient is almost always the same, and the next two are also almost all the same, and there's nothing amazing. There's no need to pay that money, and they really don't help. So I actually went to the backs of the most popular pomades that I see people mixing together so that I could show you exactly what ingredients are at the top three or four, and you see that they literally all have the same thing. There's no point in mixing any of them. You shouldn't even be using them in the first place. First pomade that's popular is the Blue Do Grow one. The first three ingredients are petrolatum, microcrystalline wax, and paraffin. Those are the first three ingredients. So everything else is just tiny drops. This is what it's mostly made out of. Then we have Blue Magic, petrolatum, lanolin, lecithin. I'll list it on the screen. I can't remember how I wrote it down. But also, as you saw, petrolatum, the first two, it's mostly Vaseline. Then we have sulfur 8. This is the only one that has like sulfur in it that of course can't be put in extreme quantities. You might as well just drink MSM or use something that's just mainly sulfur. You don't need it because the first ingredient is of course petrolatum. Second one, lanolin. This literally sounds like a lip balm. The third one is sorbitan triolate, which is just an emulsifier. Basically Vaseline that's yellow, coloring at the end. And then the next one is not the worst oil, but it's not the best. And this is Hollywood oils because they usually name them. There's other brands, but I see people use the Hollywood oils the most. And there's like tea tree oil, argan oil, almond oil. And these ones are not necessarily bad, but you're not getting your money's worth, even if it's only like $2 for a bottle. First of all, it's like $2 for a tiny bottle. And if it says olive oil or tea tree oil, if you look at the back, the first ingredient is usually soybean oil. The second one is something like castor oil. So you might as well just get something like olive oil because you can just divide it. You can use some of it for your hair and use the rest of it. There's no need for added coloring and mixing chemicals. In short, stop mixing oils. You're mixing different kinds of Vaseline. It's not helping your hair grow. It's clogging your follicles and it's damaging your hair. So if you continue using this, of course, you can go ahead. No one's gonna stop you. This is just my advice from my experience and the science. Okay, so the second tip falls in line with the first tip, which is why I always say listen to all the tips up to the end, only because I like to make my tips fuse together so they can work separately. You can only listen to one tip and it will be great, but if you listen to them together, it actually, they all connect and they add to each other. So the second thing is focus on reading the ingredients that are in the back of the products, but ignore the popular thing that everyone says. It goes for skincare as well. There's something very popular that was said a very long time ago, and it doesn't apply now anymore. And this is that if you can't read, if you can't pronounce the ingredient at the back of your skincare or hair care, then it shouldn't be there. That doesn't count anymore because most companies now know that people research into their skincare and people want to know exactly what's in their skincare. So sometimes they might put the scientific name for a word like coconut oil or shea butter, and it might be very long and hard to pronounce. And there's those chemicals like ethyl hexodexyl, which are emulsifiers or preservatives that are actually good for your hair or your skin. And you might think this is just like some long chemical word. It must not be good. It's actually not true. If you're not sure what the word is and you think it might be dangerous, very simple. Just Google it. You find what the word means. Now, if something is mostly chemicals, things like mineral oil and stuff like that, then you shouldn't use it. So what I'm saying is read the back and only say the bad ingredients are ingredients that are actually bad. It doesn't matter if the ingredient list is short, because if you look at the back of Blue Magic, I will put a picture on the screen right here. I'm pretty sure it only has about 5 ingredients and all of them are basically mineral oil, coloring, Vaseline, aka petrolatum, and it's literally just all chemicals that don't do anything for your hair. So just because an ingredient list is short and another one has a very long ingredients list, like Do Grow oil has a lot of ingredients, but they are a whole bunch of different amazing oils for your hair and a little bit of preservatives at the end. So focus on your ingredients, what they actually are, and not what they say. I'm going to put a few examples of the on the screen right now. So I'll give an example of the Shea Moisture Manuka Honey product that I love using. You can see it on the screen. You guys know this is one of my favorite deep conditioners. It has amazing ingredients, but Shea Moisture is one of those that puts the actual name of things and they also put the scientific name. You have words like the scientific word for shea butter, I'll put it on the screen, the scientific word for mafura oil, and you can see that these words look difficult to pronounce, and if they didn't put the word shea butter in brackets and you never heard this, you'd probably think it's some weird chemical that your hair doesn't need. So just because it's difficult to pronounce doesn't mean it's actually bad for your hair. If you think something is a bad chemical or something, just Google it and you might find it's something that's actually amazing for your hair. Okay, so the third tip is something that is actually getting more popular now again, just like the whole mixing the oils thing. I think we've been in quarantine for a long time and a lot of people have found projects and a lot of those are like, let me focus on getting my hair healthy. Let me grow it long. And then you're trying to mix all these different things and it's really not helping you. This is my third tip, and the reason why I'm including it here is because I actually get a lot of questions about this underneath my videos, like the DIYs. I did an avocado mask recently. You guys know I love rice water. I've done a lot of rice water videos. I tried onion juice, and there's a lot of natural like hair treatments that I've tried before or have done. There's aloe vera, and a lot of people ask if they can mix all of them together, and it's kind of similar to the oils, but maybe even a little worse sometimes, because just because something is natural doesn't always mean that it is better. The thing with natural products is they are highly unstable, and we don't have the exact quantities. We are not chemists, so we don't know exactly what mixes perfectly with other things when it comes to essential oils, when it comes to just 100% natural products like aloe vera. So I always suggest that you only use a maximum of 2 different treatments if you have to mix them together. For example, if you're making onion juice, maybe you can pour a little bit of rice water into the onion juice or rose water into the onion juice instead of plain water. Or maybe when you do something like the avocado mask, maybe you can mix in some honey or something like that. You know what I mean? But mixing in like getting rice water and mixing it with onion juice and then doing an avocado hair mask, those could react badly, because think of things like poison ivy. That is 100% natural thing that grows out of the earth and it can literally kill you. So I'm not saying these treatments are going to kill you, but what I'm saying is just because something is natural, it doesn't necessarily mean it's better. So please don't mix too many natural things together. I also never do more than one natural treatment, or let me say more than one DIY in a single day. So if you want to, I guess you could, a maximum of 2, but I never do one. I never do more than one. And this is an example. If I wash my hair with rice water, I'm not going to follow up with an avocado hair mask. Even though I love the avocado hair mask, it made my hair feel so soft and luscious. I will not use it on the same day as rice water, so I would probably use rice water this week. And then if I want to use an avocado mask, because rice water and the avocado mask are both 2 intensive treatments. Like the avocado is intensive moisture, the rice water is like rebuilding kind of protein. It's also a pretty intense treatment. So I would not do a rice water treatment and then follow up, my God, the thunder. I would not go ahead and follow up with an avocado mask. Again, just because like the 2 natural ingredients, there's no preservatives, it's not stable, you never know how it might react. So I really try not to do that. Also, if something goes wrong, you won't know whether it's the avocado or the rice water that caused the thing. And I mean this in general. So you don't need to comment and say, what about avocado and aloe vera? What about rice water and aloe vera in the same day? This goes for any DIY. I will not use more than one in a single day. So I'll go ahead and use my rice water. I will use my store-bought deep conditioner and go ahead and use that. Now, this is just my opinion. If you only use 100% natural products and you don't buy anything store-bought, possibly you found the correct balance for your hair and maybe that works for you. But if you are like me and you use a mix of both, I would highly recommend sticking to one DIY treatment in a single day and also in a single week. And then again, for these same natural products, I do not recommend using any of them every single day. No matter how amazing the results are, using something more doesn't result in better benefits. I'll give an example of a BHA or any kind of exfoliant for your skin. If you use an exfoliant every single day, your skin is going to get rough, it's going to get damaged, and eventually you think that this is too harsh for your skin, that it doesn't work, and your skin is just going to react so badly. It can get rashes, you can become super sensitive. But if you use it once every 2 to 3 days, you will see amazing results. It's the same with your hair. If you use an avocado mask every day or every 2 days, you're probably going to get moisture overload. You might get tired and not wash your hair properly, so you have bits of avocado in your hair. It might give you single strand knots. It might make your hair feel just too soft and start breaking and snapping. But if you use it once a week, your hair is going to feel amazing. And it's kind of the opposite with rice water. You use it once, your hair is going to feel soft. It will feel strong at the same time. If you use it every day, your hair is going to start feeling hard. It's going to start feeling wiry. Your hair can possibly break because it has protein in it. So please don't overuse any product. Once you find that it works well, follow the guidelines of the treatment and just use it the way it's supposed to be done. Using it more is not going to help you. Okay, the fourth tip is something that's also very popular that everyone says this is going to help you have massive hair growth. As soon as you do this, your hair is going to start growing so much faster, and this is trimming your ends often. First of all, your hair grows from your scalp and not from your ends. Your hair doesn't extend down from the ends of your hair. It grows from the roots. So cutting your hair does not make it grow any faster, like 0% faster. The only thing it does is it helps you retain length faster, because if you had any dead ends, damaged ends or split ends, if you cut them off, your hair is most likely to be more healthy at the ends, and possibly because you cut it and you want it to grow longer, you'll be paying a little bit more attention to keeping your ends healthy, and then you will retain length and grow your hair faster. That is good, yes, but do not have a schedule for trimming your hair. Don't say I will trim my hair every 3 to 4 weeks or every 3 to 4 months, because if you don't have any split ends or damaged hair at the ends, all you are doing is stunting your hair growth, because you are cutting off healthy hair that is actually growing and getting longer, and you're cutting it off because you think you have split ends. So what I would advise you to do is every month or every few weeks, just look at the ends of your hair, see if you look like you have any split ends or damaged ends. If you do have them, cut them off. If you don't, leave your hair alone, because you are only slowing down your hair growth. And now when it comes down to actually trimming your hair, please only cut your hair with hair shears. I think I have some with me here. These are them. Use actual hair shears. These are actually getting quite blunt right now, and I have very coarse hair, so I will not use these on my hair again. I have actually ordered a new pair of scissors. It is on the way probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the traveling. You know, we've got the Rona restrictions and everything takes way longer to ship, so I can't say. I'm gonna guess 2 to 3 weeks, but it might take a little bit longer. When they do come, I think I am due for a trim, and I probably blow out my hair and give it a trim, but I won't be using these. And everyone says this, like, you can just use any pair of scissors. Why not? If your scissors is sharp, or whatever scissors you find around, as long as it can cut the hair off, then it's fine. It's actually not fine. Cutting your hair with scissors that are not hair shears will actually cause way more split ends. So even if they cut off the dead ends that you have before, they will create more. You might not see them immediately, but eventually they'll come. And the best way I can explain this to you is to imagine using a blunt knife to cut a piece of cloth, and as you're cutting it, the ends the fabric starts to fray a little bit. Or even if you cut jeans, like if you want to have ripped jeans, when you cut the jeans, even with a blade, because it's not sharp enough, if the knife is completely sharp, even if you cut through really hard jeans, it's gonna make a perfectly straight line like a laser cut. If you cut with a more blunt razor blade or a scissors, it's going to fray the ends, and the ends are going to start unraveling. That's perfect for jeans. That's not what you want for your hair. Your split ends are going to continue going up, and you might end up with a schedule where every 3 to 4 weeks or months you have to trim your hair because you're using the scissors that is causing more split ends. So please, I would actually say you're better off not cutting your hair at all than using a bad pair of scissors. The fifth tip that is severely affecting your hair growth is actually something that is more mental, and this is stop measuring your hair, especially with a measuring tape. Measuring it just like on your body, like stretching a piece of hair and being like, oh, okay, now it's this long. Like, let me hold it like this and say, oh, now my hair is this long. This is fine. Sure, not every day, but every couple weeks you can just kind of like stretch your hair down and say, oh, maybe my hair has grown a little bit. But getting a measuring tape and being like, okay, this month I want to get 1 inch of hair. And there was one point in the natural hair community when those shirts were very popular. I actually wanted one. I got my best friend to make me one because I was like, I'm not paying for one, but you can just make me one. And it was one of those t-shirts that had the measurements at the back, so every time you stretch your hair you could see how many inches it is. I think those t-shirts still sell right now, but I don't think they're as big anymore, but they were very popular at one point. So it was either those shirts or getting a measuring tape. So you say, this month I'm going to use rice water, I'm going to do all this stuff, and I'm going to measure my hair with the measuring tape so that I make sure I get a full inch or I get half an inch. This is highly detrimental to your hair growth, and the only reason why I do this on my channel sometimes is because if I do a hair growth channel like with rice water and I don't measure my hair, a bunch of people will be commenting and saying, well, we can't see if your hair has actually grown or not because you didn't measure it. So sometimes in my rice water videos I would measure it, and I always say the only reason I do it is for you guys because you want to see a physical number. But for myself, even right now, I really don't know exactly how many inches my hair is. I don't care. I just want it to be healthy and grow longer. I'm not going to lie and say I don't want long hair. I want my hair to be waist length, and like that is my goal. So yes, I am on a journey to get longer and healthy hair, not just longer hair. But I do not measurement. I do not measure it. I do not care about the numbers, because think about this. Stress makes your hair fall out. It makes your hair get dry. It makes your hair get damaged. So stressing about your hair not growing is not doing anything. If you plan to grow 2 inches of hair in a single month and the month ends and you only have half an inch or 1 inch, 2 months has still passed. And after that, 2 months are still going to pass whether your hair grows or not. So all you can do is focus on the hair that's actually growing, keeping it healthy. And it's just really unhealthy to measure it. It's going to be demoralizing to you. You might stop taking care of your hair because you're like, whatever, I'm doing all these healthy things, and then my hair is not growing. It's just staying the same length. So of course, if it's literally the same length, you need to analyze if you're doing something wrong. But if your hair is just growing slower than you expected, and you're doing everything you possibly can, all you can do is focus on whatever you have and continue to take care of your hair and use all the tips I've given in this video and my other videos if you've seen any of them, because that's the only thing you can do. There's no reason to focus on things you can't change. And if you want more tips and videos for things you can continue doing to your hair to make it long and healthy and fuller and thicker, just hit my face right there. If you didn't subscribe in the beginning, hit my face right here to watch my other channel and watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here if you haven't seen any of those older videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!